to get us started. Monday. Happy Monday. Hope you guys enjoyed the snow last night, all day. Hope you guys know. You're like me, I don't like snow.
I was trying to get to my car and I fell 3 times just getting to the car.
Did
Yeah,
you slip on ice or something?
yeah.
Yeah.
Once down the stairs, the other two in the parking lot.
Sorry for laughing.
Get up
That's
my
hilarious.
driveway.
It
Oh
happened.
no, it's hilarious, but it just things happen. I don't like ice.
I had fun yesterday. I was at work for most of the day, and because it was like dead, we went outside and we had a snowball fight. It was fun.
Well, play it safe, guys. I know it's once last time it snowed like that was 10 years ago, but about 4 years ago, we had a light dusting. It wasn't that bad. Anywho, hope you guys are safe. Hope you guys didn't have no accidents, didn't be slipping and sliding. I know where Miss Denise lives. She gets a lot of snow up there. Here, once in a blue moon. So we're here. So this week is going to be about cakes, and more cakes. Yes, we're going to make a pie tomorrow. So another pie. Just before we get started, the knowledge conversion quizzes are open. They close February 5th. That's Friday, the week 5. Okay. And again, you guys know what happens. If you take them before that Friday, week 5, you get 10 extra credits, right? But you got to take them. If you're trying to take them on Friday, they might be closed. Okay, Monday, forget it. It's too late. If you don't take him, they will affect your grade average. So your grade average will drop. So you got between now and Friday, week 5, to take the quizzes. Don't take long. It's 5 questions each. That should not that be long, to take. So take them as soon as you can and get them out of the way, out of sight, out of mind. Because the longer you wait, the longer you're gonna forget, and before you know it, they're gone. Okay. So do take the knowledge conversion quizzes. Okay. Let's get started with the newsletter. First things first, let us see what is happening around here. Okay. Let me get some adjustment here. Here we go. Okay. Let us see what is going on in the newsletter. Oh, I guess I give you the answer for that one. My bad. I forgot to go back to page 1. Okay. Anywho, Monday next week, we have no class Monday next week. It is a holiday. It is honoring Martin Luther King. Okay. Martin Luther King on that day. So that Monday we have no class. So we're probably going to have a lecture on Tuesday and then go on campus Wednesday and then cook Thursday and Friday. Okay, so lecture will be Tuesday. We'll go Wednesday. That'll be your Tuesday. And then we'll cook at home on Thursday and Friday. That'll be your Wednesday and Thursday. And then Friday, the next day, we'll cook the next week. Okay. Not so complex. We're just, going to push it one day forward. Okay. So no class.
So we're only going in person one day next week?
Correct. If we can go 2 days, we'll go 2 days. Now we'll go one day. But
Okay.
on Wednesday, we'll cook. We were supposed to be on day, on that Tuesday. Okay. What else? There's your holiday calendar. March 26th, you guys will be your next block. Don't know what that'll be. Okay. And again, that's for the rest of the year. Okay. If you have changed your address, your phone number, that is the website link for you guys to go change it with school. Okay. If you guys have changed any of that information. Okay. What else? Some local resources to help you with the testing, utilities, rental, food, mental, and flu vaccine. Again, new website to help mental health issues with COVID-19. The Christie Center, if you happen to experience the loss of a loved one. Inter-school department, those of you guys who are online, you guys know where to get your stipend from Mary Reardon. Okay, but you got to have your bank mobile set up. Okay. Zendesk, who to call, who to contact. You have issues with your portal, can log in and Can go take a look at your grade and all that good stuff. Okay. Stop the spread. Help prevent the spread of this respiratory disease like COVID-19. How to protect yourself. Okay. Again, using bleach as a disinfectant. Career services. Jamil and Ms. Ann Derrick will help you guys out, especially with your externship. Okay. Featured employers, Better Half and Whole Out Brewing. Looking for a full-time baker. Spread and Company. Also looking for a baker's assistant. Suerte, experienced light cooks. East 6th Street is looking for experienced light cook. That's a good restaurant. That's a good place to go learn. Okay. Burger Bar on campus, looking for cooks too. Okay. So those folks are hiring. So if you guys are looking for a job and are looking for maybe a second job or part-time, maybe take a look at it. Okay. Dry storage, again, is always looking for help. Quote of the week: you are never too old to set another goal or dream a new dream. C.S. Lewis. Okay. And just for the fun of it, sure. and I guess you guys know the answer for this one, right? What is the mushroom capital of the world?
Pennsylvania.
One.
Yeah, sorry guys. Pennsylvania, that is correct. It's not California, it's not New Hampshire, it's not Ohio, it's not Tennessee. Okay.
I've never heard of this before.
So Pennsylvania, Kennett Square. Pennsylvania is the king of fresh, commercially grown mushrooms. Not only is mushroom farming the leading agricultural industry in the area, it is also the largest producer of fresh mushrooms in the United States, followed by California. That's behind, okay? I know when I used to live in Missouri, Southern Missouri, when it used to rain in the springtime, the cooks used to say that you can hear the morel mushrooms popping out of the ground because they used to go hunt for them. They will bring them to work, and man, I love morel mushrooms. But Pennsylvania, mushroom capital of the world. I guess there's a lot of fungi in Pennsylvania, except for truffles, which is a fungi too. It's an underground fungi, underground mushroom, okay? So that is the news week letter for the week. Okay, guys? We're gonna go into chocolate, 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 chocolate. Okay. I hope you guys, none of you guys are allergic to chocolate. I know Ms. Rebecca is allergic to milk products and fresh eggs. I did ask Chef Tammy for assistance and try to figure out how to improvise and utilize some of the milk products and eggs for the cakes coming up. I haven't gotten the response yet, but when I do, I'll share with you, Ms. Rebecca, so you'll know what to utilize for those cakes, okay?
Okay, thank you, Chef.
So we got chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. We're gonna be going into the history of chocolate, okay? Let me see where we at, okay? Chocolate, 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 okay? So we're gonna work with chocolate this week, and we're gonna learn how to temper that chocolate, okay? You must temper it correctly to the right temperature before we use it. We're also gonna make devil's food cake, chiffon cake. So tomorrow, it's chocolate cream pie, which you need pastry cream for, okay? So we're gonna make pastry cream tomorrow. You guys know how to make it, real easy, okay? We're gonna make chantilly. We're gonna make pâté brisé, flaky. We're gonna mold the pie dough. We're gonna blind bake it. Put parchment paper, some beans, and then bake in the oven, okay? Blind baking is the term where we utilize a weight to trick the dough that it has a filling. So the dough at the bottom doesn't bubble up and becomes airy, okay? So we're gonna trick the dough that has a filling. We're gonna bake the pie shell, take it out, let it cool down. We're gonna make the pastry cream, add cocoa powder, fill the pie with that chocolate pastry cream, and top it with chantilly. Put it in the cooler, come back, cut it, and present it, okay? We're gonna do that tomorrow. We're also gonna temper chocolate because we are gonna make chocolate mousse tomorrow, okay? Chocolate mousse is gotta be made. The recipe that I'm gonna give you, do not use the one on the portal. I'm gonna give you one of the slides, so be alert on that one. We're gonna make chocolate mousse, and we're gonna use it, okay? You can use it for your filling, for your devil's food cake, or I'm gonna show you guys tomorrow a demo how to make filigrees and chocolate tulip cups, okay? But the chocolate has to be tempered in order for us to use the make tulip cups. Well, I got some little balloons. I'm gonna take them. We're gonna make chocolate tulip cups, and we're gonna go ahead and fill that tulip cups with that mousse, maybe some berries, garnish it, and present it tomorrow. Okay? So that's coming up tomorrow. But we gotta make that. We gotta temper that chocolate correctly. Okay? So you gotta keep in check those numbers and the temperature, how to temper that chocolate. So that's tomorrow. Wednesday, we're making chiffon cake and devil's food cake. Okay, we're making those. They take about 40 minutes to bake in the oven. Okay, you are taking those home on Wednesday. Thursday, we're making buttercream icing and mirror glaze. Mirror glaze is for the devil's food cake, and the buttercream icing is for the chiffon cake. We're going to assemble the cakes on Thursday, and we're going to present them Friday. Friday, if you don't have your caramel sauce, we're going to make more caramel sauce and fruit coulis to decorate those cakes, along with the filigrees. So tomorrow I'm going to give you a demo how to make these filigrees, and you're going to make them. You can practice tomorrow, but you're also going to make them on Friday to decorate your cakes. Okay? So it's all about cakes, 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 cakes. Okay? So let's get into chocolate, 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 chocolate. Okay?
Sorry, we're doing filigrees and what on Friday?
Filigrees, caramel sauce, fruit coulis, and you're presenting your cakes on Friday.
Gotcha.
Okay. So chocolate, chocolate. Okay. Different kinds of chocolate. Okay. Different kinds. Different kinds of chocolate for different techniques and different recipes. Okay. A little history about chocolate. History of chocolate begins with Mesoamerica. Fermented beverages made from chocolate date back to 350 BC. Aztecs believed that cacao seeds were the gift of the Quetzalcoatl god of wisdom, and the seeds once had so much value that they were used as a form of currency. Originally prepared only as a drink, chocolate was served as a bitter formal liquid mixed with spices or corn puree. It was believed to have aphrodisiac powers, and to give drinkers strength. That's why I like to use it a lot in Valentine's Day dinner menus. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple of samples later on. Today, such drinks, also known as chilate, and are made from by locals of the south of Mexico. After its arrival to Europe in the 16th century, sugar was added to it, rendering an aphrodisiac, and it became popular throughout society. First among the ruling classes, and then among the common people. 20th century, chocolate was considered essential to the rations of the United States soldiers at war. The word chocolate comes from the classical Nahuatl word chocolatl. It entered English language from the Spanish language. It is one of the most popular flavorings, perhaps the most popular for candies, cookies, cakes, and pastries. Chocolate is also served as a beverage, and its ingredient is traditionally spicy Mexican mole sauce. Have you guys ever had mole sauce? No?
Yes, I have it with rice all the time. and
Oh,
it's so
yeah.
good.
I had some mole chicken when I was in Cozumel. So good.
It is so good. Yeah, not that mole from Austin Powers. It's the mole that you eat. Really good. Some pickled onions with some lime juice, some tacos, and almost at mole. It is delish. I used to make it when we go to regionals. So chocolate is available in a variety of forms in degrees of sweetness. We're going to go into the different kinds of chocolates. Okay, so a little history, time frame. The Broma cacao, food of the gods, 700 AD. Cacao tree originated in South America, carried by the Mayans into what is now known Mexico. Used as food and currency. 1504, Columbus brought the cacao bean to Spain. The term cacao, mispronounced as cocoa, is the Xochitl potent drink. 1525, Spanish conquistadors in Mexico. Cortez planted the bean on islands on his way back to Spain. In Trinidad, Haiti, African islands, and Ferdinand Poe. Spain had control of all production for over 200 years. Bastards. 1600, chocolate drink appeared in France. Sugar, vanilla was added. And then they created the molinette. aka Molina. Okay, if you guys ever watched Dora the Explorer, she goes bate bate chocolate. That instrument is a wooden handle and it's a ball with ridges on it. That's what they use to mix that's a molinette, make hot cocoa, and it was preferred hot. Okay, 1700s, cocoa factories opened up in Europe. 1765, James Baker is the first one in the U.S. to open up chocolate factories. 1825, Conrad J. Van Houten developed separator, paved the way for all future chocolate candy. 1847, in English, Fry and Sons, first eating chocolate. 1875 through 76, Henry Nestle, Daniel Peter created condensed milk and milk powder. 1894, Milton Hershey created the milk chocolate bars. 1907, Hershey's Kisses. 1939, Nestle chocolate chips was created. Okay. Chocolate quality is actually the product of several factors of addition to flavor. All of the following factors should be evaluated when selecting chocolate. Appearance, color should be even glossy without discoloration. Smell, should smell chocolatey with no off odors or staleness. Break, should snap cleanly without crumbling. And the texture should melt quickly and evenly in the tongue. Okay, that's good chocolate. Okay. Types of chocolate. Here we go. The first one, unsweetened. It is bitter like a mother. Bitter, you're gonna spit it out if you eat one of those. I had, like, oh, chocolate. I took a piece, like, spit it out. Not sweet. Pure hardened chocolate liqueur without any added sugar or milk solids. It is frequently used in baking and is sometimes referred to as baking chocolate. Unsweetened chocolate is approximately 53% cocoa butter and 40% cocoa solids. Its flavor is pure and chocolatey, but the absence of sugar makes it virtually inedible as is. So if you see at the store Baker's chocolate, just make sure you buy it for what is intended purpose with the recipe, because it is not sweet, it's bitter. Okay. Bittersweet and semi-sweet chocolate contains at least 35% chocolate liqueur plus additional cocoa butter, sugar flavorings, and sometimes emulsifiers. Generally, semi-sweet chocolate is sweeter than bittersweet chocolate, but there are no precise definitions. So flavor and sweetness may vary from brand to brand. Both bittersweet and semi-sweet chocolates are excellent eating chocolates. It can easily be substituted measure by measure in any formula. And that's the one we're going to use, bittersweet chocolate, semi-sweet chocolate. Couverture is the most expensive one. That's the blocks, okay? Chocolate containing at least 32% cocoa butter. Professional chocolatiers generally prefer couverture chocolate, which is a higher fluidity than any other chocolates when melted. This is perfect for the filigrees and the chocolate tulip cups. This is what we're going to look for tomorrow when we make the chocolate tulip cups, okay? Sweet chocolate. USDA requires that it contains no less than 15% chocolate liqueur and varying amounts of sugar, milk solids, flavorings, and emulsifiers. So, Ms. Rebecca, you might want to get away from sweet chocolate, also known as chocolate chips, because they have milk solids, okay? So just make sure you read the label and make sure that you buy the one that has no milk solids in it, okay, Ms. Rebecca?
Yes, Chef.
Okay. Yeah, that is correct. Tulips cups are the balloons dipped in melted chocolate. That is correct. We're going to make some tomorrow. I'm going to show you a demo, okay? But they need to be little small balloons, okay? Not the big ones, okay? Milk chocolate is a favorite eating chocolate in the United States. It contains sugar, vanilla, perhaps other flavorings, and milk solids. Chocolate chips are drops of chocolate available in count sizes from 14 to 160 per ounce. Cocoa powder is the brown powder left after the fat is removed from the cocoa beans. Does not contain any sweeteners or flavorings and is used primarily in baked goods. On the left-hand side, you got the regular cocoa powder. On the right-hand side is your special dark cocoa powder. I saw it once. I thought it was dirt and threw it away because it was not in the container. It wasn't labeled. I'm like, why is people leaving dirt in the cooler? So I threw it out. Not knowing it was special dark cocoa powder, okay? So another types of chocolate, cocoa butter. Chocolate liqueur is approximately 53% fat known as chocolate cocoa butter. Cocoa butter has a long been prized for its resistance to rancidity and the use for cosmetics, right? In the skin, right? As a moisturizer, cream, right? White chocolate. It is the ivory colored substance. It is not the product of an albino cocoa bean. It's actually a confectionery product, does not contain any chocolate solids or liqueur. The finest white chocolate couverture contains minimum 31% cocoa butter, maximum of 55% sugar, and 20% milk solids and vanilla and other flavors, okay? So sometimes we say that white chocolate is not true chocolate because it doesn't contain what true chocolate does, okay? Imitation chocolate or chocolate flavored coating, a less expensive product substituted for chocolate in many prepared foods. Imitation chocolate is made with hydrogenated vegetable oils instead of cocoa butter. As little as 8% defatted cocoa butter and as much as 55% sugar plus emulsifiers, flavorings, and perhaps milk solids. Like the stuff you buy at Walmart, the almond bark is mostly just shortening. That's why it has a waxy flavor in the palate, okay? Chocolate is high in calories and fat, contains minimal amounts of vitamin A and trace amounts of other vitamins, as well as some sodium, phosphorus, potassium, and other minerals, okay? And you got couverture flavors, dark, okay? It's bitter, again, 99% cocoa solids and cocoa butter. Bittersweet, 60 to 80% cocoa solids, butter, sugar, vanilla, and lecithin, the emulsifier. Semi-sweet, 55% to 60% cocoa solids, cocoa butter, sugar, vanilla, and lecithin, and then get a milk and then white chocolate, okay? So storing chocolate, all chocolates should be stored at a cool, consistent temperature away from strong odors and moisture. Water is the evil to chocolate, okay? Keep water away from chocolate at all times, okay? Your equipment must be thoroughly clean. Your stainless steel bowls must be dry with a paper towel so they have no chocolate. Your spatula, your spoons, no water, because if you add water to chocolate, it's going to seize up and it's trash, okay? Chocolate should never be stored in the refrigerator because the condensation, humidity, water, okay? Dark chocolate, white chocolate, and cocoa powder can be kept up for 1 year without loss or flavor. Milk chocolate will not keep as well because it contains milk solids and it starts getting moldy on the outside, kind of whitish, greenish pus, okay? Yep, it does. Moisture, water. In order to create a chocolate candies with a high gloss and crisp, sharp snap, when eaten, chocolate must be tempered correctly. Again, keyword, tempered correctly. We're gonna go to the temperatures of what temperature the chocolate needs to be tempered, okay? And how to temper it. Two ways of tempering, two seeding methods. I'll describe that what those are, okay? It will be crumbly and develop gray streaks known as bloom when dry, okay? Untempered chocolate takes a long time to set and it sticks to candy molds, okay? Tempering chocolate is a controlled process of melting, cooling, and reheating. So melting, okay? High temperature, cooling, and reheating within specific temperature ranges. The ideal temperature depends on the type of chocolate and the percent of cocoa butter that contains. There are several temper methods such as seeding, tabling, microwave oven, and cocoa butter methods. Each method relies on melting chocolate and heating it to a certain temperature. The cooling and rewarming it, great care must be taken care when tempering chocolate. The chocolate must be chopped into small uniform pieces so that it melts evenly and better and faster. If overheated, the chocolate needs to be cooled and reheated before resuming the temperature process. Eventually, equally important, steam or water must not enter the chocolate because this would cause it to seize, okay? It'll seize, it'll be like hard paste, okay? And then it's trash. When stirring chocolate, during tempering, if excess air is incorporated into the mass of chocolate, it will become thick and unmanageable. So don't try to sit there with a whisk. Your spatula or a wooden spoon is perfect, okay? Reheating and retempering will restore the chocolate's fluidity. So you gotta reheat it and temper it again, okay? So tempering chocolate, here on the picture on the left-hand side, It's an example of a nicely tempered chocolate. Glossy, hard snaps, doesn't easily melt. Right hand side, dull, streaked crumbles, melts easily. See those white spots here? That is a chocolate that hasn't been tempered properly. Okay, it's not bad. It's not spoiled. It just hasn't been tempered properly. Okay, or has white streaks on the chocolate. Okay, so what's tempered chocolate? Chocolate that has been properly tempered is glossy, breaks easily when snapped. Okay, and that is perfectly. So I think we're going to make some chocolate covered strawberries too. I'll see what kind of berries we got. Okay, glossy. Okay, here in the picture on the right hand side, glossy. The middle one is untempered, and the last one is not the right proper chocolate. Okay, you need to temper properly so I have that glassy sheen on it. Okay. So here we go. Here are the temperatures for your chocolate. Okay. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay. When tempering chocolate, okay, you're going to put it in a double boiler, sauce pot, water, in a stainless steel bowl. Make sure that the stainless steel bowl doesn't touch the water. Okay. Dark chocolate needs to be brought to 115 degrees. Thermometer. Okay. Always have it. Take it out, seat it, and cool it down to 84 degrees. And then bring it back up to 89 degrees. That is a perfect temperature for making filigrees and also making chocolate tulip cups. Okay. Milk chocolate, 114 to 81 to 87. Okay. And then white chocolate, 113 to 79 to 82. So we're going to be working with the dark chocolate. So remember that, 115 to 84 to 89. 89 is the final temperature before you start working with it, okay? So keep that in mind, okay? So handling tips when melting chocolate. Use a double boiler, simmering water, very low steam, because if you got a lot of steam, a lot of steam is going to come out to the side of the bowl, it's going to go inside, and you're going to seize your chocolate. Stir to complete melting. Your rubber spatula is perfect, but make sure it's dry in the water. Avoid seizing. The only way it'll seize is when you add water or water gets into it. Careful of water at the bottom of the bowl, and your workspace to be completely dry too and clean when you're working with chocolate. Air incorporation. Whisk versus rubber spatula. No whisk. Rubber spatula is better. Okay. Tempering. Again, you got to melt the chocolate. Fat crystals that are dissolved. You're going to introduce the seed, and I'll be going to what that means. So when you temper chocolate, you're going to have your recipe. You're going to put 2/3 of that chocolate to melt, and you're going to leave the 1/3 outside. When this chocolate gets to 115, you're going to take this piece of chocolate that you now mix it. That is your seed. You're going to cool that melted chocolate with the seed until it comes down, and you're going to put it for a few seconds in the boiler to bring it to the temperature. So that is your seeding, your seed. To seed your chocolate, okay? So always leave one piece aside, use that to cool your chocolate down, okay? Then rewarm, and again, caution, fat blooms, too much heat, cocoa butter separates, you're gonna have gray streaks. Flavor not compromised. It won't change the flavor, but the color, the look of it is not gonna be that great. And again, sometimes the color is gonna be like off-putting. Sugar blooms, okay? Introduction to water, sugar crystallizes, that's what it's gonna seize. Whitish spots and chalky texture, and it needs to be nice and sheen. Okay, so be careful with the water. White temper, candy making, decorations, sculpture, boxes. Dark chocolate tempering, begin with 6 ounces of chopped chocolate, 2/3, and 3 ounces separate. That is your seed again. Okay, double boiler, melt completely the first batch to 113, 120. Remove from heat. Begin stirring with the chocolate that you set aside to cool it down. And when tempers to 86, 89, chocolate should be feel cool to the touch. So feel that bowl on the outside. And if it feels cool to the touch, it's ready to go, okay? Test before using. And again, milk and white chocolate tempering, same as for dark chocolate, same technique, but temps are lower. Again, we just went over those temperatures, okay? Ganache, typically a combination of chocolate and heavy cream. Couverture not necessary. So the most expensive block chocolate is not really that great for ganache. The chocolate chips is better for ganache. Okay. Butter may also be added. So you got three kinds of ganache. You got the regular ganache, heavy cream and chocolate, we made last week for the profit rolls, eclairs. You got hard ganache, which is the inclusion of butter, whole butter at the end. That's what we made last week. And you got white ganache with white chocolate. Okay. Candy fillings, many uses for sauce, glaze, filling, icing, melting of chocolate ensures smoothness, stir to complete melting, heat cream before adding. Okay. Chocolate mousse, many recipes. Okay. It's light, airy, yet rich in rich dessert, made light by the addition of whipped cream, eggs, egg whites, or yolks, or both. Pasteurized egg yolks are recommended for service to at-risk populations against the elderly or the youngins in nursery homes. The Padabon method is used for that one. Pasteurized egg whites will not whip well, so don't use pasteurized egg whites. Protein change after heat treatment may take up to 30 minutes without any kind of cream or tartar added. Okay. Dark chocolate mousse, Padabon method 2. Dark chocolate over double boiler, stir in butter, set aside to cool, but do not allow to solidify. Make a potted bomb, whip egg yolks until light, lemon yellow. Make a soft ball stage. Again, we did caramel last week. So caramel at the soft ball stage, at 240 degrees, take a little bit and put it in a glass of cold water. It makes a soft ball, okay? Pour syrup into yolks while whipping, slow stream. So when you pour the syrup into the egg whites while they're whipping, sometimes it goes to the side and the syrup goes all over the side of the bowl, so it doesn't go into the egg whites, okay? Fold potted bomb into the chocolate, whipped cream, and then fold it in, and chilled pipe and serve in a container. So that's the potted bomb method. Okay, we're not going to make that method for the chocolate mousse tomorrow, okay? We're going to skip that method, okay? So this is your chocolate mousse recipe. If I are you guys, I'll write it down, take a picture, and have it on your production sheet for tomorrow. Okay, that's your recipe, okay? Got it? All right, that's your chocolate mousse, okay? And this is your method, okay?
Chef, can you go back to the chocolate mousse again? I kind of my picture messed up.
Yes, ma'am, okay? So I'm gonna go back in right now, guys. This is the recipe. So Ms. Rebecca, we're gonna have to skip you making this chocolate mousse because it does contain eggs and cream. You're not gonna be able to make this chocolate mousse tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
And a second word from Chef Tammy. Again, bittersweet chocolate, 3.5 ounces, large eggs, 3, salt a pinch, sugar, 2.5 teaspoons, whipped cream, 3/4 cup, whipped until chantilly, okay? Method of chocolate mousse. Place chocolate in medium metal bowl, set bowl over the saucepan of simmering water and stir until the chocolate is melted and smooth. Remove the bowl from the water, add the egg yolks, not the whites. Add the egg yolks to melted chocolate and whisk until smooth. It is gonna try to seize on you, okay? So don't be scared. Beat egg whites separate and pinch of salt in another medium bowl until soft peak forms, gradually adding 1.5 teaspoons of sugar, beating constantly until the whites are glossy and medium firm peaks form. Using a silicone or rubber spatula, folding a quarter of the beaten egg whites into the chocolate mixture light to light, okay? Then add 1.5 teaspoons of sugar, beating constantly until the whites are glossy and medium firm peaks form. Using a silicone rubber spatula, fold a quarter of the beaten egg whites into the chocolate mixture to light. So you're going to fold the egg whites into the chocolate mixture, okay? Gently fold remaining whites into the chocolate mixture until just incorporated. Do not overmix or they may deflate. Divide the mousse again. You're going to save it. We're going to put some in the chocolate Tula cup. So if we're going to put it in a mixed cup, put it in the cooler, let it set, okay? Beat cream and to 1 teaspoon sugar, another medium bowl until it's peaks form, and whipped cream on top of the mousse. So that whipped cream is going to be for the garnish to the chocolate mousse. Okay, it's really easy, guys, but you're gonna think is the chocolate is seasoned because again, egg yolk says liquid. Once you add it to the melted chocolate, it's gonna try to seize up, but it's not, okay? So don't be scared. What else? So this is your menu for Tuesday, okay? Chocolate cream pie, which you're gonna make pate brisée, flaky, okay? You know the recipe, you know the technique?
So good.
Oh, it is. You're gonna make pate brisée. You're gonna line the pie mold. You're gonna put a parchment paper, dried beans, blind bake it in the oven. Okay. Take it out when the edges are golden brown. Let it cool. Remove the beans. Put them all in the sheet tray. We're gonna collect them all in the sheet tray so they can cool down before we put it back in the bucket.
Did you say we also needed pastry cream for something?
Yes, with a chocolate cream pie. Okay. So either I think you guys, if you guys have your pastry cream from last week, you may be able to bring it unless you want to make it from scratch. If you don't have enough, you can make it on campus. I mean, it's really easy to make. Okay. So pastry cream is cocoa powder incorporated. That also makes it the filling for the chocolate cream pie. So make the pate brisée, roll it out, let it rest, roll it out, form it into the pie shell, cut it, blind bake it, take it out, let it cool down, remove the beans, make your pastry cream with cocoa powder, fill in your chocolate cream pie with that, and top it with a chantilly on top, okay? The chocolate mousse is gonna be for your chocolate tulip cups, okay? Chocolate tulip cups. We're gonna make chocolate tulip cups. You're gonna fill those tulips with a mousse, okay? That's what's happening tomorrow, okay? And we're gonna work on some filigrees, okay? That's why we need to temper chocolate, okay? Filigrees are really easy, and it just takes practice, okay? They're not so hard. So we're gonna go into, let's go into how to temper your chocolate. Where are we at? Okay. This is one way, okay? With it, link on the chat, okay? And I think it's on closed caption, Ms. Rebecca, okay? Here you go.
Tempering is the process of heating chocolate, cooling it down, and then raising the temperature again. Simply put, tempering chocolate gives the finished product a nice glossy shine, a crisp snap when broken, and a pleasant texture or mouthfeel when eaten. Tempered chocolate also sets quickly and doesn't melt in your hands as soon as you touch it. Chocolate that has not been properly tempered takes a long time to harden. It can have a grainy texture and can develop unsightly white blemishes through a process known as blooming. Chocolate contains fat known as cocoa butter. When cocoa butter solidifies, it can form various types of crystals that have different melting points. Only one of those crystals has the kind of characteristics we want. By tempering, we encourage the formation of this kind of crystal. While there are several methods for tempering chocolate, we'll be using the seeding method. When you purchase a chocolate bar at the store, it has already been
This is one method of seeding the chocolate, right?
tempered. By setting aside some of the tempered chocolate and introducing it into your melted chocolate, the fats in the melted chocolate are encouraged to form the same kind of crystals as those in the tempered chocolate. To temper chocolate, begin by chopping the solid chocolate into smaller pieces. Once you're finished chopping, place about 75% of the chocolate in a bowl. This is the chocolate that will be melted. The remaining 25% will be used to sieve the melted chocolate. Chocolate can be melted in the microwave or using the double boiler method. Here we are using an improvised double boiler. Place about 1 inch of water in a saucepan and bring it to a simmer. Place the bowl of chocolate to be melted on top of the saucepan. The steam from the water will create indirect heat, so the chocolate won't get too hot and burn. Use care to avoid getting water into the melted chocolate, as this will cause the chocolate to seize and be unstable. This can happen if your bowl is too small. Begin stirring the chocolate with a spatula. You want to bring the temperature of the chocolate up to about 115 degrees Fahrenheit or 46 degrees centigrade. Continue stirring the chocolate and scraping any chocolate off the sides of the bowl. Once the chocolate has reached the correct temperature, remove it from the heat. Now we will add the chocolate that we have reserved. Begin adding the solid chocolate a handful at a time, mixing it until it completely melts. Adding this chocolate will provide seed crystals and help bring down the temperature. We want to bring the temperature down to about 86 degrees Fahrenheit or 30 degrees centigrade. Continue this process until the chocolate has reached the correct temperature. By adding the chopped chocolate at the beginning and then adding larger chunks at the end, the smaller bits will melt and you can easily fish out the large chunks of chocolate if they haven't melted completely when the mass has reached the correct temperature. Now place the bowl back over the simmering water for just a few seconds. Remove the bowl from the heat, stir the chocolate, and check the temperature. Repeat this process until the chocolate reaches 89 degrees Fahrenheit or about 31.5 degrees centigrade. It's important not to let the chocolate get too hot or you'll need to start the entire process over again. Now the chocolate is tempered and is ready to be used for coating or pouring into molds.
So that is one way to temper the chocolate, okay? One way of seeding it. I like this other method better, okay? Let me show you the next method. And that's what I use to temper my chocolate, okay?
When school isn't a place you have to be, why not go to school where remote learning can be as remote as you want?
Come on.
You're lined with parts. Hey everybody, Thomas Joseph here with another kitchen conundrum. I know.
Okay, Chef, I don't see the videos.
Have you tried melting chocolate?
You see it?
Candy,
Yeah, I didn't see the first one either.
and you
You
See
didn't
this one now.
Okay. I put the link on the chat too, just in case you didn't catch it, okay? So the first video, the link of this in the chat room, but this one, are you guys all seeing it? Okay. So if your screen keeps on freezing, you can check the link that I just share with you guys on the chat, okay?
end up with a dull white sheen on top of your chocolate like this. Well, what this is the fat within the cocoa butter. It rises to the surface if it's melted improperly. And today I'm going to show you how to fix that by tempering your chocolate. Tempering chocolate is a really interesting process of slowly bringing chocolate up to a higher temperature, reducing the temperature and cooling the chocolate, and then bringing it up again. And what that does is it leaves you with a wonderful shiny chocolate that's perfect for barks, for candies, for dipping cookies in, and it also has a really nice texture. And it's not that hard to do. You just need to know the temperatures for the chocolate that you're using. So today I'm using milk chocolate for my holiday bark. What you need is 1.5 pounds of chocolate in total. I'm going to show you a tempering method that's called seeding. And you want to make sure when you're melting chocolate for any project that the pieces are uniform in size so that they melt at an even rate. I have 1.25 pounds of chocolate here, and I need 1/4 pound more, but this needs to be left in one big piece. So we need another piece of chocolate that's 4 ounces, and this is perfect here. So reserve this piece off to the side. And now we're going to melt the chocolate. And for this, I'm using milk chocolate today. I need to bring this up to 113 degrees. So we're going to take the 1.25 pounds of chocolate, and I'm going over a pot of simmering water, and I've turned off the water because you don't want boiling, you don't want steam. Any moisture that you introduce into your chocolate will make your chocolate seize. So be careful not to introduce any moisture here. And what I'm going to do is just gently stir every so often until the chocolate is melted. And I want this mixture to come up to 113 degrees, and that's specific to milk chocolate. Now, for bittersweet, it's about 118 degrees. But when you're tempering chocolate, whichever brand you're using, go on their website and see what they recommend for temperatures. The chocolate is completely melted. There are no pieces, and I'm using a digital thermometer here in the middle of the chocolate, avoiding the bottom of the bowl, and I need a temperature of 113. You want to make sure when you're doing this process for any chocolate that you never go over 130 degrees because you will scorch your chocolate. So I'm at 110 right now. I'm going to keep stirring until it reaches 113 degrees. Our chocolate is at 113 degrees. I'm going to take it off the heat onto a towel to catch any of that excess moisture. And now, to bring the temperature of the chocolate down, I need it to come down to about 81 degrees for milk chocolate, for this brand that I'm using. And I'm going to take that 1/4 pound piece that I had before, and I'm going to place it in the bowl, stirring constantly. And what this does is it acts as almost like an ice cube in bringing the temperature of the chocolate down. Now, you don't want to add chopped chocolate here because what that does is it brings it down too rapidly. This is a nice slow way of doing so. And this method here is called seeding. So it's been about 20 minutes of stirring, and I'm going to check the temperature, and it should be 81 degrees, which it is, so that's great. Now, if you still have a piece of chocolate left, fish that out. And now what we have to do is we have to bring this chocolate up again in temperature. So it's 86 to 88 degrees for milk chocolate. And if you were using a bittersweet chocolate, it would be 88 to 90 degrees. So I'm going to turn off my simmering water. I'm going to place the bowl over the heat, and this goes up to about 86 degrees. 86 degrees, so that's good. And now immediately take the bowl off the heat. I like to, again, place it directly on top of.
I like that step better to when you're tempering the chocolate. That's a seeding. That's a second seeding method. Instead of adding small chopped chocolate, you add one big piece, and it cools it a lot slower. You can control the temperature better. Okay, so that's tempering chocolate and seeding in 2 different ways. Remember Friday last week, I showed you guys a demo how to fold that little cone with a parchment paper. Remember that technique? We're going to use it. Remember that? We're going to use it tomorrow because I'm going to show you a demo how to make those filigrees. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Now, why do we need that? Because we're going to make some filigrees tomorrow. Okay, you're going to need to know how to make them because you will be making them on Friday for your cake decorating. Okay, here we go, filigrees, and you can form it into any kind of pattern or shape. Okay.
First impression seemed clear, the second I nearly true. Making light conversation, you ask me questions about who I really am. I could tell you the truth, wish I knew what it was myself. Ba, 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 ba.
And what happens when that chocolate gets cold? It'll harden up. You can pick it up and put it as a garnish on your cakes. Remember last week, the apple pie? You would slice the 2 slices of thinly sliced apples and put them like rabbit ears on top of, in the middle of chantilly. Remember that? This can be done instead of the apple slices for your devil's food cake or your chiffon cake. You can make big ones, not so short, big ones, and then get cool and hard, pick them up and put them in your chantilly so your cake has more height, more eye appeal. Okay?
Chef, I have a question.
Sure.
Does it matter on what design we do, or do you want it like the video?
No, you can do your design. I think there's a couple of examples in your book, what kind of designs you have. But the taller, you gotta work the other bag. That when you cut the tip, not too small, not too thick. Okay, and when you make him, you see how she's making them here. The base, the bottom is kind of thick and it's not a lot of chocolate because it has to be able to stand on top of your chantilly. Too thin is gonna fall over. Too thick, it might look like a piece of just melted chocolate. Okay, so you gotta, whatever design you do, just make sure that the tip is cut properly and you make the nice design so it'll stand out in your cake.
Okay, thank you, Chef.
And I'll give you guys a demo tomorrow.
You can paint your own picture. I'll choose the colors I see fit. Make me a portrait of the way you perceive who I really.
So those are filigrees. And what you can do is, before you make the designs, if you haven't done any kind of freestyle writing or artwork, you can draw your design with a Sharpie on the parchment paper, okay? And then once you've done it, done all the designs, from the parchment paper upside down, so you don't pick up that ink on your chocolate, okay? And you can go back and trace it, okay? So those are the filigrees, okay? So remember the pastry bag. And again, I'll show you a demo how to make the pastry bag again tomorrow with the parchment paper, how to make those filigrees, and how to make those chocolate tulip cups with your chocolate mousse, okay? Before you leave on Wednesday, take a couple of those sheets of parchment paper so you can go ahead and start doing them at home on Friday for your cakes, your final presentation, okay? So filigrees, okay? That's what's happening tomorrow: chocolate cream pie, pastry cream, and filigrees, okay? Any questions about tomorrow's menu? No questions? Chocolate cream pie, mousse, pâte brisée, and filigrees.
I'm just ready to eat it.
Those you can eat tomorrow, okay? All right. Those
That
are,
mousse recipe,
what is it?
the mousse.
Yeah, you need the mousse recipe again?
That you gave us, are we making that?
That is correct. You're making that mousse recipe, the one I just gave you on the slide, okay? It makes enough for like 2 tulips, okay? I like to use that mousse recipe for my devil's food cake, and I'll explain why on Friday's slide, okay? because I like to go extra mile on my devil's food cake, not just here's cake. Okay. I like to be bougie, Miss Clarissa. Pinky out. Okay. So that's tomorrow. Chocolate cream pie, chocolate mousse, pâte brisée, and filigree and chocolate tulip cup. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at what's happening on on Wednesday. Okay. Cakes, cakes, and more cakes. That is what's coming up on Wednesday. Okay. Cakes, cakes, and more cakes. Okay. So chiffon cake and devil's food cake is happening on Wednesday. Two different kind of mixing methods on the cakes. Okay. Two mixing methods. Cool part is we have the cake pans at school. So you're going to make that cake on Wednesday, and you're going to take it home to decorate it on Thursday and present Friday. So it's a 3-day process. Okay. Bake the cake, make the batter, bake the cake, assemble it Thursday and present it Friday. Okay. So ingredients. Okay. The functions of ingredients. Tougheners are for the protein. Eggs and flour are the tougheners, and it's a mixing method. Okay, overworking it becomes too tough. Okay, your tenderizers are fats, including egg yolks, sugar, and chemical leaveners. Okay, shortening action shortens the gluten molecules. Moisteners, you got liquids, including sugar, syrup, and eggs. Okay, dryers, you have your flour, starches, cocoa butter, and FDMS, non-fat dairy milk solids, or powder milks, what they are. Okay. Leaveners, you have your baking powder, baking soda, right? BS, not bullshit. And then those are going to give us CO2, which is going to help elevate that lift. Yeah, it's not the kind of BS, all right? It's not bullshit. Okay. So, anyways, leaveners. Okay. Mixing methods. You got high fat, high sugar and fat. Okay. So again, you're going to cream the butter, or you're shortening until it's light, pale yellow, and fluffy, and then you add the sugar. You're going to add the sugar, cream it, and you're going to add the liquids, your eggs. Okay. So, anyways, mixing methods. High is a fat, high sugar and fat. Creaming method is for the American butter cakes. It's a 2-stage creaming method, which is utilized for carrot cake. Okay. Liquid and sugar content. Okay. All the recipe, you make the whole recipe, not half. Okay, we're making the whole recipe. And then 1 stage, you get the brownies, because brownies are so dense and compacted. So we throw everything in it, mix it, and done. Okay. And you get the foaming technique, the foaming mixing method, which are utilized for souffles. I might do a demo souffle on Friday. Okay. Low fat, high eggs. Okay. Utilized for your chiffon cake. Sponge method, whole eggs or separated eggs, makes a Genoise cake, and also angel food cake. So your chiffon cake is going to look like angel food cake. Okay, it's going to resemble that texture. Okay, the goals of mixing. Okay, to combine all the ingredients into a smooth, uniform batter, to form and incorporate air cells into the batter, carefully folding, to develop the proper texture and the finished product. Emulsions. Be aware that many cakes require an emulsion to be formed during mixing. Okay? Improper mixing can result in a curdled batter, poor texture. Okay, so if you ever try to make a cream cheesecake, if you don't cream the cream cheese first, you're going to have that cottage cheese looking batter. Okay, and the ingredients might be too cold. Liquids are added too quickly. So again, you got to take your time. Baking is a science. Okay. Creaming method for devil's food cake. Okay. Emulsify shortening is just shortening. It means that it's shortening is already emulsified. Lard is not. Lard is when you boil the pig's fat in the water, let it sit overnight, and then coagulates and remove the lard. And the shortening is it's an emulsified hydrogenated oil. So okay, shortening is fine. So anyways, the creaming method for devil's food cake. Okay, sound familiar? Blend fat and sugar until light and fluffy. Okay, devil's food cake. Your butter and your sugar. Cream your butter first with a paddle. Nice, fluffy, and pale yellow. Might take a few minutes. And then add your sugar, cream them together, nice and fluffy, pale yellow, and then slowly add one or two eggs until everything's mixed together, okay? You also gotta turn off your machine, lower your bowl, and scrape the sides, and then go back and mix it, okay? And then you're gonna have your cake pan with parchment paper sprayed and lined with sugar. Pour the batter, and gonna bake it in the oven, okay? Chiffon cake, okay? You're gonna sift the dry ingredients into a bowl with half of the sugar. Stir your liquids, including egg yolks, oil, and blend very well, separate. And then whip your egg whites until stiff, moist peaks, adding a half of the sugar left behind. You're gonna carefully fold egg whites into the batter in 3 portions, okay? So you have the batter done. You're gonna fold the whipped egg whites, 1/3, fold it, another third, fold it very lightly, okay? And on the chiffon cake, there's no spray on the cake, there's no sugar, there's no parchment paper. It goes straight on the cake. If you're using one of those bun pans that has a hole in the middle, okay? No spray and no parchment paper, because the batter needs to crawl on the sides of the wall to the top. That's just lifting. If you spray it, it's just, it's sliding back down, okay?
So no spray also means like no greasing and flouring the sides of the pan.
Not for the chiffon cake. Nope, you don't need it. Okay. What else? And again, you got the creamy method. Souffle, it's a folding method. Cheesecake, cake or custard. Actually, it's a custard with cream cheese. Okay. Dates back to ancient Greeks. It was a wedding food. Custard, but contains soft cheese. Okay. And again, I like to cream my cheese first, no lumps, and then slowly add the eggs and the sugar. Okay. And there's the water bath included. So in this world, we have two types of cheesecake. I'm not talking about flavors. 2 types of cheesecake. You guys know which ones? What the difference between one and the other one is?
One is eaten cold and with toppings, and the other one is eaten at room temperature.
No.
No. Okay.
Those with a cigar. 2 kinds of cheesecake. Anybody from the East Coast? Mama's Denise? You're from the East Coast.
What were you saying? 2 kinds of cheesecakes?
2 types of cheesecake, yes.
You said 2 kinds of cheesecakes?
Types of cheesecake.
Yes.
2 types.
Yep.
New York cheesecake and then everything else.
Bingo, Clarissa, you said New York cheesecake, right? She froze.
Yes, New York cheesecake and then everything.
Okay. New York cheesecake, sorry, you kept cutting off. So New York cheesecake, both cheesecakes are made the same way, and they're both baked in a bain-marie, in a water bath. Regular cheesecake is covered with aluminum foil, and it's about this tall. New York cheesecake is baked in a bain-marie, uncovered, and it's a thick pan. What that happens is when it's baked uncovered, it forms a nice golden brown crust on top. That is New York cheesecake. That's the only difference between both of them, okay? The nice golden delicious crust on the cheesecake. Oh man, it's like creme brulee, it's like flan. Okay, anyway, cheesecake. Pointers for success. Make sure the ingredients are sitting at room temperature, your butter, your shortening, whatever you're going to use as far as the fat. And soften cheese. Again, if you're going to use cheese, soften with a paddle. Do not use the whisk when there's batters. Make sure that the creamy method is done. Then add your sugar to ensure no lumps. Slowly add your eggs until their eggs are mixed together. Crust should be part baked. Okay. If you're doing a cheesecake and a water bath again. And no color is desired except the New York cheesecake. Again, New York cheesecake has the golden brown crust on the top. Delicious. Looks like caramel sauce. Your menu for Wednesday. You're making devil's food cake, 6-inch. You're also making chiffon cake. Okay. We believe we have a limited amount of those pans with a hole in it. So it can be made also in a cake pan. But when you fill that batter, don't fill it all the way to the top or 3/4. Okay. Because the batter needs to crawl to the sides. Start on the walls to the top, okay? So devil's food cake and chiffon cake. Let's take a look at devil's food cake. At least it's not that annoying guy with the voice, right? Whoa, today we're gonna make devil's food cake, and tomorrow we're gonna make chiffon cake, right? Chef John from Food Wishes. Okay. All right.
Live TV from 85 plus channels with local sports and news.
Yeah,
YouTube
yeah, yeah.
TV. Try it free.
Now streaming. I'm not
Really?
supposed to be here. Can you help me get back?
Why? Earth is boring.
You're missing out on the joys of life like pizza. No smell, no taste,
Or touch.
Skip.
Then you are ready to layer. Hey everybody, Thomas Joseph here, and today I'm super excited to share with you another Science Behind. And today's Science Behind is all about devil's food cake. Now, are you one that enjoys a light and airy devil's food cake like this one here? Or do you prefer a dense and fudgy devil's food cake like this one I have
Fluffy.
here? Well, it's all a matter of ratios of fat to flour, and I'm going to show you how you can customize your cake batter to your taste. So let's get started. So what do I mean by these formulas and playing around with ratios? Well, there are two main components that you need to be worried about, and that is fat and flour. So if you wanted a light and airy cake like this version here, you can see it has a nice domed top. You need 3 cups of cake flour and 3 sticks of butter. But if you are like me and you like a dense and fudgy cake, which I have here, which has more of that brownie type top, that crackly top and a fudgy interior, you are going to need more fat. And so I have 3.5 sticks of butter, and I've added 4 ounces of bittersweet chocolate that has been melted. So these 2 items here are the fat component. And then we've reduced the overall flour by a cup. We only need 2 cups of cake flour. The rest of the ingredients stay the same, regardless of how you make it, light and airy or dense and fudgy. So I'm gonna get started. I have 3.5 sticks of butter here in my mixer. So I'm making that dense and fudgy version. Add 2¼ cups of granulated sugar. Cream this together until it's nice, light, and airy. And that will take about 3 to 4 minutes. So while the butter and sugar is creaming together, I am going to take my cocoa powder, which is consistent throughout the 2 recipes, and it's 3/4 cup of Dutch processed cocoa. And Dutch processed cocoa is this dark cocoa. It's not natural. Natural is more of a red cocoa, and Dutch processed cocoa is treated with an alkaline solution, which means that it neutralizes the pH of chocolate. Chocolate is naturally acidic, and Dutch process is a neutral pH. So stir this together with 3/4 cup of hot water until it's nice and combined, and then add 3/4 cup of sour cream. Now, sour cream is our acidifying agent, which is going to react with our leavener.
But we're using the portal recipe, not this one, okay? Just want to show you that technique, okay, guys, so they get confused.
That creates the air and the volume of the cake. So 3/4 cup of sour cream, whisk your sour cream into your chocolate mixture here. And now add that melted chocolate. Again, it's 4 ounces of bittersweet chocolate that's been melted and cooled. Now our butter and sugar mixture is nice and creamed here. It's light and fluffy. Now I'm add the eggs, and that's 4 large eggs, 1 at a time. You're gonna add it to the mixer. Your ingredients should be at room temperature. So all of my ingredients here are at room temperature. And 1 whole tablespoon of the best quality vanilla extract that you have. Now, vanilla and chocolate work really well together. Vanilla actually makes things seem as though they're chocolatier than they are. So whenever you're making something with chocolate, add a little bit of vanilla and it amps up that flavor. And now I have 2 cups of cake flour here, and I have 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Again, that's the leavener. It's gonna react with the sour cream, that acid, and create those bubbles which give rise to your cake. So sift these 2 together, and now we're ready to put the whole batter together. And one more thing, I almost forgot, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Remember, salt is very important in baked goods. It brings out the natural flavors. So I'm gonna start with 1/2 of our dry ingredients. Start this on low speed. Add all of this chocolate sour cream mixture, and now the rest of the dry ingredients. I'm just finishing stirring the batter together, making sure that it's all evenly incorporated. And now into our baking pans. I have two 9-inch round baking pans here that have been buttered, lined with parchment paper, buttered again, and then dusted with cocoa powder. This will ensure that the
Sugar is fine.
out of the pan nice and evenly. So use your judgment here and try and evenly distribute the batter between the two pans. You could use a scale here to weigh out batter so that you know that each layer is perfectly even. And now gently smooth out the tops and have your oven preheated to 350 degrees. And these cakes will bake for about 40 to 45 minutes. You want to make sure that a toothpick, when you insert it in the center of the cake, it comes out clean. So when your cakes come out of the oven, make sure you cool them in the pan for about 15 minutes before you invert them onto a wire rack to cool completely. Then you are ready to layer your cakes and frost them.
That's one way, okay? Plain and simple. But I'm going to show you guys some demos how to garnish that cake, how to use the icing, okay? So this one is going to be the mirror glaze, okay, for the devil's food cake. But I'm going to use some of the buttercream icing to do this. I'm going to use ganache and some of the chocolate mousse instead of the mirror glaze icing, okay? So that's how you make the technique on the devil's food cake, right? So let's go check the chiffon cake. That one it's the folding method. It's not a creaming method, okay? That's a little bit more different, okay? Come on, where you go? Chiffon cake.
And breathe out of better down, breathe down, hit breathe here, breathe down, breathe down, make it breathe. Hit breathe here, breathe down, breathe, make it breathe.
That's right. TurboTax Free Edition is free. Free.
And so now I'm going to cut this into layers here. And as always, whenever I'm cutting a cake, I like to use these rotating cake
Go back to the
they really
beginning.
help.
Okay.
A chiffon cake is a standout cake that's known for its light, airy texture, and also because it's super moist. Today, I'm super excited to share with you one of the most popular questions that has been asked, and that is all about yellow cake or white cake. Now, we've done so many chocolate recipes, and everybody wants to know what's the perfect yellow cake. Well, today I'm going to show you what I believe to be the perfect yellow cake, and that is a chiffon cake, because not only is it nice and airy, but it's also really moist. So I have 9 egg whites in the bowl of my mixer here with a whisk attachment, and I'm going to start frothing them up before I add a little bit of cream of tartar. Now, this is a half teaspoon of cream of tartar, and what cream of tartar does is it contributes to the stability of your egg white foam, or in this case, it's going to be meringue because we're adding sugar to it. So it adds that strength and structure, which will ultimately give you really great volume in your cake. Now, a chiffon cake is not a creaming method cake. It's actually more similar to a sponge cake in which you whip the eggs. In this case, I'm whipping egg whites separately from the yolks to build volume. So while this is whipping, I'm going to add a little bit of flavoring. Since we're making a basic cake, an all-purpose cake, I'm going to use vanilla today. And I really love using a vanilla bean because I think it adds really great flavor. But if you didn't have a vanilla bean, you could certainly use vanilla extract. So about 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract here would give you a very similar flavor. Now, use just the seeds in this mixture. Now, the egg whites, they're doing really nicely here. They're filled up. Looks like we have soft seeds. And now I'm going to start adding a little bit of sugar. And egg whites plus sugar equals a meringue. So this is 3/4 of a cup of regular granulated sugar. As always, when you're making a meringue, you want to gradually add the sugar. Now, gradually adding the sugar, what it does is it helps the sugar dissolve into the egg white so you don't get any gritty texture. I have 7 egg yolks here, and to that I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of whole milk and a 1/2 cup of safflower oil or any neutral flavored oil. So mix these ingredients together just until they're nicely combined. And then for the dry ingredients, I have 2 1/4 cups of cake flour, 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar, 2 1/4 teaspoons of baking powder, and 3/4 of a teaspoon of coarse salt. So just mix these ingredients together until they're nicely combined in a large bowl. Now your wet ingredients, go right in to the dry ingredients here. Mix these together. So now gradually add a little bit, maybe about a quarter of your egg white mixture into your base batter. And this is the technique of folding. So what you're doing with this initial amount of egg white or meringue is you're lightening the batter up slightly, making it easier to then fold in the rest of the egg white without deflating it too much. Now, today I'm using a traditional pan for a chiffon cake, which is one of these 10-inch anodized aluminum tube pans. So this is a typical angel food cake pan. Oftentimes, a lot of recipes will say, oh, you can only bake in this pan because the batter itself needs to crawl up the sides, but I have made this cake in a lot of different baking pans. So you could butter and flour and use a little piece of parchment, a 9-inch cake pan. You can use a few of these if you wanted to create a layer cake. So this batter does work. You just need to make sure that you're buttering and flouring so that the batter has something to kind of crawl up to or stick on. So make sure your oven is preheated to 325 degrees with the rack in the middle of the oven. So as always, when you're folding ingredients, you want to make sure that you're scraping the perimeter of the bowl and then you're bringing the batter up and over on top of itself. So scrape around, up and over, and I'm rotating the bowl as I do this. So this looks nice. Pour it right into.
That's the folding method for the chiffon cake. Okay, not a mixing method, not a creamy method or a straight method. That's the folding method.
To your tube pan here. So this goes right into your 325 degree oven for about 52 to 55 minutes. It's going to be nice and puffy and lightly golden brown on top. So right into the oven. So the chiffon cake, it's been out of the oven and it's cooled completely. Now,
correct.
As with an angel food cake, you want to cool it upside down. So that's why these tube pans with the feet on the bottom of them are really great. So you can see it's a nice light golden brown color. It's puffed up really beautifully. And I'm going to take a very thin blade. This is a carving knife. It's flexible. And you want to glide this around the outside of the pan. So you want to firmly press along the perimeter of the pan here. And you should be able to pop the cake right out. Take your knife and go along the bottom of the pan. And with a little bit of a shimmy here, should be able to take the cake out nicely. And so now I'm going to cut this into layers here.
We that one you cut to layers. So if you're doing the cake, I would suggest leveling off the top, nice and flat, and then cut it in half. Okay, do the filling, put the top on it, do the icing on top, and then ice the whole cake. Okay. So that's chiffon cake. If you want to do layers, you can use cake pans. It's not going to rise as thick as that one. Okay, it's going to rise about this thick. So do a couple of cake pans and then assemble them, to be layers. It's going to be about the same height as that one. Okay. So that's your chiffon cake. It's a different mixing method. It's a folding method. Okay. Any thoughts about Wednesday's menu?
I'm excited.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Chef. So we're gonna have a cake, the same type of cake pan he had with the little.
You don't have to. If you don't have it, you don't have to. You can just use a regular cake pan. Okay.
Heard.
Okay. I don't have one here in my house, and I think we only got a couple of those limited on campus. So I'm probably gonna have to use a regular cake pan for the chiffon cake. Okay.
Wait, so we're making the cakes on Thursday?
No, Wednesday.
Or Wednesday. Okay.
Wednesday. You're making them on Wednesday, the devil's food cake and the chiffon cake, and then you're taking them home because you're gonna assemble them on Thursday and present on Friday. Okay. You can make a lemon agar caviar as a garnish. If you have the agar and you know the technique how to make that molecular gastronomy. Okay. You can. Okay. So that's what we have coming up on Wednesday. Any thoughts on that one? Okay.
Wait, that's for Wednesday?
That is correct.
When are we doing the cream pie then?
Tuesday, tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah, cream pie. Cream pie is tomorrow with the chocolate mousse, chocolate tulip, and filigrees. And when you're gonna eat those on Tuesday, take them home and enjoy them again, late snack. Okay. And then the cakes are gonna be on Wednesday. Okay. So that is coming on Wednesday. Let's take a look at Thursday. Okay. Let me go Thursday. Okay. Thursday, we're gonna assemble the cakes on Thursday. Okay. Yes, that is correct. The bananas are for the chocolate cream pie. Okay. So Thursday, we're gonna make icing. Okay. We're gonna make icing. We're gonna decorate the cakes. We're gonna let it set overnight and then present on Friday. Okay. So with icing, it's a frosting or icing, often used interchangeably. It can be a filling, a coating, or both. Adds flavor, improves appearance, extends the shelf life, especially shortening. It's not an animal product, it's hydrogen and oil. And the only thing on that one, it leaves the a waxy texture on the palate. Okay. Types of frosting, so icings, you got buttercream, foam, fudge, fondant. When you make wedding cakes with fondant, but you just got to make sure that the cake itself is nice and firm, because a fondant, it is heavy, like a heavy blanket that goes on top. Glaze, royal icing, and ganache. Okay, we talked about ganache. I'm going to talk more about ganache in the next slide for Friday. Okay. So buttercream, light, smooth, and fluffy mixture of sugar and fat. So you got to cream the butter first, okay, until it's nice and fluffy, pale yellow. Add the sugar slowly, cream it in. It's still going to be light and fluffy, and then slowly add your egg yolks. Okay? Add your eggs. All butter, all shortening or combo. So Ms. Becca, you're probably going to use shortening on this day. You may utilize your vegan butter if you want to, okay? And I did get a response from Chef Tammy about what you can use for the your eggs or milk, all right?
All right, thank you, Chef.
Yolk white, yolks, egg or whites or both, flavorings are limitless. Simple, Italian and French are most popular. Italian buttercream or French buttercream. Okay, so American style buttercream and 10x sugar or powdered sugar. So you're gonna cream your butter and your shortening until it's light, fluffy, yellow, pale yellow, and you're gonna add your sugar and you're gonna slowly mix it in, because if you put it on high speed, sugar is gonna splatter all over the place. You're gonna look like El Chapo, Pablo Escobar on your table, okay? It is gonna become light and fluffy. Shortening, again, saves cost because it's not as expensive, but it does leave that waxy feel in the mouth. Okay, you can also add flavorings. You can add lemon, you can add orange, you can add any kind of flavoring so that shortening, so that icing, okay? So it gives some flavor. Extracts, chocolate liqueur is most common, okay? I know I still has the honey bourbon from my foundation, so I might use that for one of the icings, just because. Egg whites, pasteurized or meringue powder, cream, milk or water may be used to adjust the texture, and I'll show you guys, okay? Show you guys in a minute. Italian buttercream, it's a meringue base. Again, it's egg whites with sugar. Softball syrup is added. Yeah, last week when we made the caramel sauce, the sugar syrup reached 240 degrees. You took a little bit and put it in a glass of ice water, and it formed like a little softball. Okay, that's what it means, softball stage. Butter transforms, soft, lightly rich, most stable the meringue-based buttercream. Okay. Ooh. it'll be awesome. It'll be really great, Ms. Denise. Most of you guys will be the first time making cakes too, so you're not in there, okay? You're not just alone. French buttercream, egg yolk base, pas de bombe, again, more syrup. Butter transforms, light yet rich. Good use for 1 to 0 yolks. Can be made with egg whites too, okay? Cakes and more cakes. So when you layer your cake, okay, use a serrated knife to work with it, okay? Usually we have cake knives. So it's a long serrated knife. So you're gonna have your cake after it's baked and everything on top of your turntable. You're gonna put your hand on top and your serrated knife level, You're gonna cut back and forth, seesaw motion, as you're turning the cake. And you're gonna pass the knife all the way to the other side, removing the top and then leaving the bottom nice and flat and even, okay? So free hand on top of the cake for safety. Gently saw and spin the cake until you reach the center and until you reach the end, okay? And a couple of demos on the liquid and the cake, okay? Always keep icing between the spatula and cake. Use the proper motion, do not dab, okay? So dabbing means when you grab icing with the spatula and you put it in the cake, that's dabbing, and then go back. You can't do that because the cake is nice and fragile. You're gonna pick up the cake into your spatula and it's gonna crumble it. You're gonna contaminate your icing with cake crumbs. So don't dab it, okay? Put icing and then spread it back and forth like you're spreading butter on the toast, okay? Use the proper motion, don't dab. Feathering motion, that's what it's called. Feathering, when you put butter in your toast, okay? That's a feathering motion. Light, okay? Cake wheel turns for a reason. This is when you're gonna need that cake wheel, a turntable. And again, Walmart has them for cheap, okay? Yeah, icing on icing. And sometimes the best way to put icing on the cake is grab your pastry bag, fill it with icing with a tube tip, and then turn your turntable and then pipe that icing from the middle all the way down to the outside. Make a circular motion, then go back and then smooth it out. Okay, that's probably the best deal. Okay. Ooh, $9. Okay. So, anyways, utilize your turntable. Okay. And if you have OCD like me, you're gonna take a break, walk away from it, and come back and start feathering and start smoothing it out again. Because if you sit there trying to make it perfect, you're probably gonna mess it up. Okay. So sometimes it's good to walk away for a minute and come back and do it again, okay? Just by experience, I let you guys know that, hey, I'm like, that doesn't look right, it's too wobbly, it's too fatless, I'm gonna go smooth it out. Before you know it, it's like, the hell did I do? It looks like a Pinterest fail. But so walk away once in a while, okay? So your menu for Thursday, you're gonna make American buttercream. Yeah, crumb coating and mirror glaze. There is a recipe on the portal for mirror glaze, okay? Mirror glaze is for your devil's food cake, okay? And buttercream is for your chiffon cake, okay? So what I'm gonna do for my cakes, I'm gonna make a chocolate mousse for my devil's food cake. I'm gonna probably do half mirror glaze and half the, the chocolate mousse. For your mirror glaze, you're all going to need food colorings. I think I have yellow in the house. I'm going to have to stop at the store and get some different food colorings, maybe blue, to make it like that, okay? So
I'm way too excited.
Anywho?
I'm way too excited for the mirror glaze.
Yeah, I made a last couple of weeks, it didn't come out right, so I have to redo my recipe or do some research on the mirror glaze. So American buttercream on Thursday, crumb coating and mirror glaze. We are going to assemble those cakes on Thursday. And we are going to assemble them. We are going to finish them on Thursday. Okay. But
Wait, where's the recipe for the mirror glaze?
Oh, there's one in the portal. I got one here too. Okay. So yes, we're going to make the buttercream icing, and we're going to make mirror glaze, and we're going to assemble the cakes on Thursday. But we're not presenting Thursday. Yes, you are taking pictures of your product, sending by email, but we're presenting on Friday. Okay. Here's the mirror glaze recipe.
Thank you.
So take a picture, do whatever you can, and keep it with you on your production sheet for Thursday, okay?
Can you make that bigger just just a bit?
A little bigger, yeah. Maybe so many more. So that's the mirror glaze for Thursday, okay? And then we're gonna assemble the cakes, really, dude. We're gonna assemble the cakes on Thursday, okay? And I'm gonna work with you guys on assembling the cakes, okay? The one on the right hand side is a chiffon cake with a little bit of yellow food coloring and candy lemon and chantilly. Okay. And the other ones are your devil's food cake, different kinds of styles of devil's food cake. All right. So let us take a look at buttercream icing. What is that? It's all about. Okay. Buttercream icing is going to take a lot of powdered sugar, a lot. I think it's like 2 pounds.
Hi, I'm Emily Tajek from the Wilton.
Let me see if I can copy this link. Zoom in. Okay. All right, let's take a look at this buttercream icing technique, all right?
Test Kitchen. Today I'm here to show you Wilton's classic buttercream. It's a great recipe because it's soft enough that you can spread it on your cake, but it's sturdy enough that you can make all those beautiful decorations like borders and writing on top of your cake. There's a few types of equipment you'll need for this. You'll need a stand mixer like the one I have here or a hand mixer. You'll need your paddle attachment, not your whisk. You'll need a sturdy silicone spatula like this one. And it's always great to have a few measuring tools on hand just in case. Some of the ingredients you'll need for this recipe are, you need half a cup of butter or 1 stick. You're gonna need half a cup of vegetable shortening, 1 teaspoon clear vanilla extract, 4 cups of sifted confectioner sugar, and 2 to 3 tablespoons of milk. If you want to make this a chocolate buttercream, you can add 3/4 cup cocoa powder, an additional 1 to 2 tablespoons of milk, depending on the consistency of your buttercream. So let's get started. First, I'm going to add my butter and my shortening. It's going to go right into my bowl. And the important thing with this is you want to make sure that your butter is completely softened. You don't want it to come out of the fridge and still be firm, because you want your shortening and your butter to be well combined. I'm putting on my paddle attachment. I'm going to start on medium to medium low. I'm just going to get these nice and combined. It's really important when making buttercream to continuously scrape down the sides of your bowl so you don't have a big hunk of shortening or butter at the bottom. You want to make sure everything is nice and evenly incorporated. So I'm going to stop my mixer. Wrong way. And just give it a nice little scrape. Get it off my paddle. I want to make sure that everything is in there. Like that. And it's really good to scrape the bottom of your bowl too, just so everything gets in. Okay, so let's start it up again. And now that my butter and shortening is really combined, I'm going to add my vanilla extract. So this is 1 teaspoon again. Just go right in with that. And mix until it's really nice and combined. That looks great. So I'm going to actually move my mixer down to low and start adding my confectioner sugar. You want to have your speed on low because, as everyone has done it once.
And make sure you sift your powdered sugar. Okay, sift it before you add it, because otherwise you're going to have big lumps of powdered sugar in your icing.
In their life, if you have it high and you put something like flour or confectioner sugar in a bowl, it's just going to go right in your face. So make sure that it's on low. We're going to go half a cup at a time. It's important to do this in really small increments because you don't want a lumpy buttercream. You want it really smooth and really glossy, and that feel on your tongue, it's just great. You can keep adding, and I'll do the next addition when things start to get a little dry. And don't be concerned, your buttercream will look dry. That's normal. That's why we're going to add milk at the end. Just a little more. And as I mentioned before, if you wanted to make this a chocolate buttercream, I would take the cocoa powder and I would sift it in with my confectioner sugar, and that way you won't have any lumps or anything, and it'll just be nice and smooth. Okay, so we'll just keep adding. All right, my buttercream is looking pretty dry and clumpy, but don't be concerned. This is exactly what it's supposed to look like. You can tell my mixer is getting a little tired, but don't worry. All right, so that's the rest of it. All in. And I'm going to add my 1 to 2 tablespoons of milk. I'm going to do this slowly because you don't want to add too much. So about a tablespoon. All right, looks like it needs both the tablespoons. And from here, I'm gonna turn it off and I'm actually gonna scrape my bowl again. A lot gets stuck to your paddle, so just make sure to get all of it off. And again, really get down there and get the bottom and the sides because you don't want anything unmixed. All right, this looks great. I'm gonna turn my mixer up to about medium now and really get it going. And you'll see how quickly it goes from kind of a lumpy mess to this smooth, creamy consistency. It's really cool. So we're just about there. I now have.
And that's American buttercream for you guys, okay? Any thoughts on that one? Easy, right? But it does take at least about 2 pounds of sugar, so be ready for that. It's extremely sweet, okay? Any thoughts about Thursday's menu and production? Okay.
Diabetes, here I come.
Anyway, yeah, really, really. So that's cakes. Assembling on Thursday. Okay, assembling and finishing on Thursday, but we are going to present on Friday. Okay, Friday, what we have is your final cake presentation, okay? Friday. Friday is when to present the cakes. Now, there is fruit cooling caramel sauce. If you have your caramel sauce from last week, you don't have to remake it unless you ate it all with some ice cream and some apple pie, which could be possibly done, okay? So fruit coulis, caramel sauce, tempering, and ganache, okay? Because we are going to plate your cakes on Friday, okay? Cakes on Friday, okay? So this is what I've done in the past, okay? So my devil's food cake, and again, I'm a big kid when it comes to Valentine's Day menu. I like to go out and create all kinds of crazy, not out of this world, but awesome, delicious, exotic, aphrodisiac fruit. So my devil's food cake, I will bake the devil's food cake on a sheet tray, 2, okay? And then I will make my ganache, like you see here, butter, chocolate chips, okay? This is actual production of my kitchens in the past. So my first sheet cake of devil's food cake, I will level the top off, okay? And then I would put chocolate mousse embedded with brandied cherries imported from France, about 43% proof, a little bit more chocolate mousse. And then the second sheet tray of devil's food cake, level that off too, and turn it upside down on top of that cherries and chocolate mousse, sandwich it in between, okay? And then I would freeze it, come out, and then cut it with a cookie cutter. And put that little sandwich devil's food cake with cherries and mousse on a wire rack with a sheet tray and parchment paper, and pour ganache on top of that individually cut out of devil's food cake. As you can see here on the right-hand side picture, okay? That's what it looks like a little molten lava chocolate cake, an individual devil's food cake. Here you got the fruit coulis, 3 dots, and a little bit of creme anglaise with a toothpick run through it like a little heart. A couple of strawberry slices, a raspberry, topped with a small Rosetta Chantilly, and look what it's here on top. Lo and behold, that filigree with the couverture chocolate, okay? So I'm going to show you a demo how to make that design, okay? So whatever design you're going to make for your filigrees, make sure that you make it enough to put in your cake so they can stand out and give it more height. Okay. That dessert, I learned from one of my French interns. It is called Fort Noir. Fort Noir is Black Forest in France. Fort is F-O-R-A-T is forest, and noir is black. So Black Forest cake, okay? Because of the brandy cherries inside.
Black Forest cake is amazing.
It is, but this is a French one. It's not the regular one, okay? So I done that, okay? And then when I went back, I did the other version. So I played with the presentation, different Valentine's Day menus. So I went back and made a white chocolate with white ganache, same procedure, cut them in half and put them together. So you have the yin and yang of the white chocolate and the white chocolate ganache. Okay. So just kind of give you some ideas, all right, guys? So crumb crust acceptable for chocolate cream pie, not on top. You can dust a little bit, but not cover the whole entire cream pie with crust, okay? Yeah, bananas, yeah. So what you can do on your chocolate cream pie, if you're gonna use bananas, I would cut them on the bias, like we did the carrots on the bias.
No, cream pie on.
No, the filigrees are empty. Those are empty filigrees. They don't have any filling on them. Okay. So I will do the bananas. I will sprinkle some sugar and I have a torch and caramelize that sugar on top of the bananas and use
No,
that.
the ones on the bottom row.
Which ones? Oh, the ones at the bottom. No, that is just ganache. I know what you're talking about. That teardrop is ganache that I packed in a little pastry bag and made the shape of the teardrop and then put sauce in it. So that's like a little design. So I was trying to go with the yin and yang. So the cake and then 2 teardrops with ganache outline and then fill it with sauce. Okay. So that's, and again, I like to play with that one. And that one, I used to call it Juliet's weakness. And it sold quite a bit. It sold quite a bit. Okay, again, chocolate and chocolate, not just regular, but white chocolate. Yeah, Juliet's weakness. And here on the bottom left, that one you see on the bottom left, I do have that chocolate too, but I was trying to play with different flavors, and it does have that rabbit ear apple slices. Oh, really? Come on. Come on. Work with me. There you go. See the bottom left? It does have a little design of the filigrees, and it have the rabbit ear apple slices. That one I didn't have any brandy cherries because it was hard to get, so I used to resort to using maraschino cherries that I soaked in brandy. Okay. So yes, that's the devil's food cake, which I'm going to try to do on Friday. Okay. And again, devil's food cake. Some ideas too how to make that devil's food cake. This one has the chocolate here. Is the buttercream icing with cocoa powder. Okay, cocoa powder. And the ridges that you see here they're done with a comb, a cake comb. I'm going to show you what the cake comb looks like tomorrow at school. It's a little triangle piece that has little ridges on all sides. And you use that to make those ridges on the cake. Okay. So just some ideas on the devil's food cake and whatchamacallit, the chiffon cake. So assemble on Thursday and then finish on Friday. Okay. And then on Friday, if I have all the ingredients, I'm going to give you a demo how to make the souffle. Okay. It's another dessert. Souffle, I don't know if you guys read the newsletter last block. I did post my recipe for the souffle that I had carried with me since the mid 80s. And I went back and the souffle, we used to sell it for $8.50 back then. And I was looking at the internet and they were selling it for $20. $20 for the souffle. That cost of the souffle is like $2. At least. $2, $3. Okay. 20 bucks.
Should we bring our whipped cream so that we could put it on our cream pie?
No, you can have some more tomorrow. You can make some more tomorrow at school. Just your pastry cream. You don't have it, then we'll make some more on campus tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
So that's what we have on this week coming up. Any thoughts about the menu on Friday? Okay, Friday's presentation, okay? Now let me go back and share with you guys my production sheet if I can. Where did it go? Okay, all right. So here we go, okay? Here's what my production sheet looks like for tomorrow, okay? That is my production sheet. Pâte brisée, chocolate cream pie, and the chocolate mousse recipe seen here too, okay? Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more. That's what you should have on your production sheet tomorrow. Pâte de brisée, chocolate cream pie, and chocolate mousse. Okay. Again, 250 grams of AP flour, butter 205, salt 3 grams. Okay. Chocolate cream pie. There's the recipe for the pastry cream because I'm gonna probably try to make it again tomorrow. The chocolate, the coconut, the banana, and then how to go about it, and then my chocolate mousse recipe. That's where it is. Okay. So that's my production sheet for tomorrow, guys. Okay. My production sheet for Wednesday. Here's my production sheet for Wednesday. Devil's food cake and chiffon cake. Okay. Devil's food cake. There's a shortening: the butter, sugar, cake flour, cocoa powder, baking soda, milk, vanilla, and eggs. Okay. The method. And there's the rest for the chiffon cake. Okay. The recipe summary: cake flour, sugar, salt, baking powder, oil, egg yolks, water, vanilla extract, egg whites, sugar, cream tartar, lemon zest. Okay. So that's my production sheet for Wednesday for the devil's food cake and chiffon cake. Here's my production sheet for Thursday. Okay. Buttercream icing. Okay. And chocolate mousse. Okay. So I'm going to put this chocolate, this chocolate mousse. I'm going to make it because I'm going to use it for my devil's food cake. Okay. So that's my chocolate mousse. The only one I don't have here is the mirror glaze. So I'm going to put the mirror glaze recipe here. Okay. But there it is. My production sheet for Thursday. Okay. Here's my production sheet for Friday. Okay. Tempering chocolate, fruit coulis, presenting cakes. Okay. There's the tempered the chocolate. Okay. 100. Remember, keep those numbers in your production sheet. How to temper it to what degree, how to bring it down, and what final temperature is supposed to be between 82 and 89 degrees. Okay. The fruit coulis, and then combine all the ingredients for the fruit coulis, puree and strain. Okay. But again, Friday is about presentation. I didn't put the caramel sauce because I already have some from the last week. Okay. So that is my production sheet for this week. Okay. Or production sheets for this week. Okay. Let us go see what the recipes are. Okay. I know there's a recipe in here somewhere for the mirror glaze. I saw it. I just can't find it right now. I'm trying to look for it. Okay. The cookie smackdown, creme anglaise, creme brulee. Okay. So all the recipes are there for you guys. Okay. Here's the let me go back. Cherry pie, chocolate cream pie. There's a recipe in the portal for the chocolate cream pie. Okay. There's again for the chantilly. There's for the chocolate caramel sauce. Okay. Fruit coulis. There's a recipe for the tempering of the chocolate. Okay. Your ganache. Okay. The chocolate mousse, don't use that one. Use the one I just gave you on the slide. Okay. There's the recipe for the yellow chiffon cake. Okay. There's a recipe for the American buttercream. Okay. And there's a lot more recipes in here, and I know that I saw the mirror glaze somewhere. Someone's going to try to look at it both and see the difference between both of them. Okay. So those are your recipes. Those are, again, samples of the production sheet. That is your menus for this week. Any comments, any issues about tomorrow? Wednesday. Thursday. Friday.
So you said Friday was just presentations and the fruit coulis and tempered chocolate?
Correct.
Okay.
Because you're going to make filigrees on Friday. So Wednesday, when you come to campus, remind yourself to take parchment paper. I'm going to try to remember to tell you guys, take a few sheets of parchment paper so you guys can do a little cone and mix filigrees for your cakes. Okay. So again, it's a long process, but it works really well. So tomorrow is kind of like an intro to chocolate cream pie, chocolate mousse, filigrees, chocolate tulips. And then Wednesday is the devil's food cake, chiffon cake. Bake it, take it home. Thursday, assemble it with the buttercream icing, the mirror glaze. Friday, we'll present. Okay, Friday's presentation. So when you think about Friday, do your research. Go to the internet. Go see if you can find some Google images on different styles of devil's food cake. Choose whatever fits. Pinterest, that too. Choose whatever fits you, whatever you think is going to create and elevate that dessert higher. Okay. When you do so, think about the cost. Okay. Because
My mind is already racing with ideas.
Because the devil's food cake may cost you maybe $4, maybe $2 or $3 tops, the little one that I show you, and it can be sold for $12, $14. So when you design your cakes, present them on Friday, think about how to sell that product. Okay, double it up, roll them dice, 7-Eleven, right? Play some bones, increase that price. Okay, increase that price. So don't just, here's a cake. No. Think of how you're going to make that cake stand out. How you're going to sell it for more than just $4 or $6. Okay, how would you sell it if you were the executive chef or you had your own restaurant? Okay, how are you going to make money on that cake? Okay, money. Think money. C notes, greenbacks, cash money, moolah, dead presidents, right? That bag, grab that bag of money, right? So think about it, okay? Do some research because it's coming up. Before you know, we'll be on Friday presenting cakes, okay? You don't have to have a fancy set of china. White plate will do fine, okay? I had a student last block who was living with the roommates, and she was still producing, but she was putting on a paper plate. It worked fine, okay? It worked fine, but again, it's the thought and design that went into creating that plate. So any thoughts about this week?